What's good, everyone? Thank you for joining me here today. So, for those that are watching right now on Instagram, you will get you will get a lot more value if you guys visit me on YouTube Live because I'm going to be showing you guys slides. I'm going to be giving a real presentation. I have screenshots of my photo booth business funnels. I have screenshots of my websites. I have screenshots. The most important ones is from Google Ads. I'm going to show you exactly how I invest $1 and get $3 to $4 back. So my name is David Rodriguez. You guys already know the deal. I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and I do this full time. I photo booth full time. That's what I live. That's what I breathe is the photo booth industry. That's why you guys see me as a pretty proactive individual in the space because I do this full time. This pays the bills, and this puts money in my savings, and this also puts money in some investments as well. So for everyone watching right now on the Instagram, come over to the YouTube side so you guys can see some of the actual. You guys can see some of the slides and information I'm going to be sharing with you. This way, you guys get a lot more value. So yeah, this presentation is going to be awesome. I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I know some of you guys are in different time zones. So, no further ado, let's go ahead and wait about one more minute, okay? One more minute, guys. What's up, Katiana? Thunder 360 photo booth is in the house. Carla is listening. Cool, Carla. So I think what I'm going to do this time around is this recording here. I'm going to get it. I'm going to let it replay. And the reason why is because there's going to be strong visuals that are not only going to motivate you and inspire you guys, but it's going to open your mind to a way you can do business. And we're not even implementing AI. Just wait until I come up with the version that's going to have AI. You guys are going to be sitting back, chilling like bosses, letting AI and Google Ads do all the heavy lifting for you. But this one right here is more of a foundation. So if you're not doing this right now, then that means you are dealing with headaches, stress, timelines, and quite honestly, I know all you guys that are watching right now, you guys have a hustler spirit. And believe me, I've been a hustler since I can remember, since I was a little boy selling chocolates out of that van, getting on my knees, asking if you wanted to buy caramel nut clusters or gummy bears. That was me. That was that kid bugging you while you were at the gas station or at the bank. I've always been selling something. I've been hustling. So it is 9:01 p.m. here in California, and I'm just going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Just really quick, I want to do a mic check. If you guys can hear me okay and the sound's coming through pretty good, can you guys please put a 1 on the chat? That would be helpful on my end. What's up, Renee? The Shoots, what's up? All right, thanks XY Rentals for confirming. You guys can hear me? Very nice. So once again, before I get started, I don't want folks on Instagram to miss out on the visuals. So by the way, guys, if you guys are on Instagram, check my story. I have a link so that you guys can join us here on the live. Right now we have 13 photo booth business owners watching, and I'm going to get started with my presentation right now. So I'll see you guys there. If you guys want to make it in, that's cool. If you guys just want to hear me out, that's totally fine. So let's go ahead and rock this out. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen with you guys and then bring you on this presentation here. Hold on. All right, here we go. Share screen. My entire screen. And I'm going to assume some of you guys haven't heard about me or know me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit of background real quick. I started the business back in the day about 4 years ago when the 360 video was trending like crazy. So I started off with one 360 video booth, and I was renting a van every single weekend because the 360 video booth didn't fit in my Camry that was a hybrid. So that was a miscalculation on my end, but I rented a van every single week, Fridays and Saturdays, because I was busy back to back with just plain, just like organic leads. Those came from Instagram, but I would say 90% of those leads came from the Google search engine, from my Google business profile. So I was a busy man making good money. You know, even the weekdays, I would get events for free. What I mean by for free is I wasn't paying to get leads. Everything was coming from my Google business profile. A year passed by and leads started dying down. And what that meant was, David, you have to do something quickly because now you have some people that work for you and you want to keep those people busy. And so I started diving into Instagram ads. I started diving into TikTok ads. I even tried Facebook, and then I tried Google, and I failed at all of them. That's just me being super honest. I failed at all of them because I wasn't patient enough, and I just wanted quick results, just like any hustler, right? We're hustlers. We just want to like flip a buck real quick. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do with an actual system. So let's go ahead and start off. When people are looking for your services, they're going to go on Google and they're going to type in photo booth rental. So when people go on there and they type in photo booth rental, you want to make sure that you guys are at the very, very top. Now, either you're going to rank organically for that specific city, and so that's going to help you because when they click on your website, you're already on the very top. But what happens is you guys want to make sure that you guys capture a ton of real estate online. That's how you're going to get more leads, because the more exposure you get, the more leads you're going to get, the more inquiries you're going to get, the more events you're going to get, and eventually the more your business is going to grow. Okay, your bank account is going to grow. It's inevitable unless you guys don't deliver. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm ranking here at the top. Now, what happens when someone clicks on my actual website? Well, it takes them to a landing page. That landing page looks like this. Most people that are serious about booking, they're going to go to check availability. When they click on the check availability button, what's going to happen is they're going to land here. Now, this is what we called a contact form. Now, this is very, very important, okay? Because this has been revised so many times and now it's at a sweet spot. Now, I'm going to ask for their name, that's required, their phone number, and I even put on here, we're old school, so feel free to call us at 909-504-8431, okay? But they're going to put their email. Their email is required, and then they can select the type of booth they want. They can either go with a video confessional booth, a 360 video booth, or a photo booth. And then they're going to put their event date and event location. Okay, once that form it gets filled out, I want you guys to understand this. They just gave us permission to reach out to them. This is a warm lead. This is a high quality lead because they went and they actually filled this information out because they need you to reach out to them. Okay, so that's what happens. So once the client fills this contact form out, then what they're going to get is they're going to get our brochure via email. In their brochure, it looks exactly like this. So they're going to select their actual experience. We have the photo booth fun, right? We have the portrait station experience and the custom studio build out. Now the next page that's below this, it shows you the price. So yes, I am one of the actual business owners who actually share the price after the client has shared their phone number, their email, their name, their location. I give them the price straight up. And so the way I word it, I want you guys to also pay attention to this because it's all about how we build the offer. And as you guys can see, for the most popular offer here, the photo booth fun offer, I listed it as enjoy 3 hours of coverage for the price of 2. Your bonus hour can be used as an idle time or as an extended photo session. So if it's a wedding and there's downtime, that can be used as an idle hour. If it's a party, then they'll use all 3 hours for a production time. And you guys will see that for me here in this area, I listed it for $480. Now, the other 2 offers, of course, are for premium experiences and companies that have a larger budget. But everything ties in because it's value anchored, meaning if you look at our premium plan, it's $4,400, right? So once the person selects $480, that includes the backdrop, the photo booth attendant. But here is where we start making more money. I'm going to show you guys exactly how we do this. So once they commit to the 480, they select the 480. The second step, so now they have optional select add-ons. We don't want to sell people on things they don't need. We want to provide them with things that they're actually going to value so that at the end of the day, we customize a plan that works for them. So as you guys can see, the first thing that we have is same-day photo prints for an additional $190. The second thing that we have that's really popular is the photo booth props. And the reason I'm doing it like this is not only because it's working so well, but because it's so much more efficient and also a lot more customizable. Now, most people will opt in for the same day photo prints, right? So where were we at? We're at $480, but now we're adding an extra $190. And I want to say close to 90% of the people actually go with the same day photo prints. So then they'll select the photo prints. The next page, it takes them to an invoice. Okay, so remember, guys, this is all happening in a funnel like. And this is why you want not a beautiful, gorgeous website, but you want a funnel. So the second part now is we only accept 2 bookings per day. Secure your date now before it's gone. So that gives them a sense of urgency. So this is the invoice, and this is the bottom page of the invoice right here. It pretty much summarizes what they added. They added the photo booth experience and the same day photo prints. So the total is $670. This is going to be for a 3-hour event. Remember, they get that bonus hour. So this is also perception of value. So $670 is what we average per event. On the low end, it would be 480, but we are still profitable and making money, especially if we're doing multiple events on one night. Very cool. So this is what the client sees. Now they're going to go over and click client agreement. When they get to the client agreement, before they get there, on the bottom of the invoice, they can see their actual payment schedule. So when they see their actual plan in the summary, the page below that is a payment schedule, basically saying to make sure that you guys are locked in, it's 50% retainer. And then 2 weeks before the project, they'll get billed again for the remaining half. That's how we have it set up, and it works really well. The next page is the client agreement. Now, I want you guys to also pay attention to this part because the client agreement is important. And a lot of you guys do a lot of going back and forth with the client agreement. It doesn't make any sense. And I've always wanted to figure out how can I make this easier. So on the very top, it says, your event date isn't secured until this client agreement is completed. Please fill it out immediately to lock in your slot, right? So this is the top of the client agreement. It's going to record the client's name automatically from the contact form. And then on the bottom of the client agreement, they're going to put their signature. They're going to add their actual contact number, which we already have. That'll get submitted in. That'll get automatically uploaded. But most importantly, we're going to get their event date, their venue address, and estimated guest count and start time. All this information is being entered by the client, and then that information reflects on our calendar. So we don't miss a beat. We don't miss a day, and everything remains like a beautiful workflow. And this is what it's truly all about today, is how much time can you save so that you can spend that time doing something else that's going to bring in a lot more money. It's about building systems that free up our time, guys, so that we can do things that we truly want to do in life. But our job always pulls us to the side to be like, wait, we have more things to do. This is exactly why I built this system, because I love freedom. All right, so this is the bottom of the client agreement form. The second part is the actual where they have to pay. So they can pay the half. Remember, it's 50% retainer. So this is where they would pay that, right? When they submit their payment, that goes through. The next page, it says, thank you for choosing us. Next step, it says, please select your photo template. So once they click photo template, it takes them to a photo template page. Now that photo template page is going to show them hundreds of different templates in which they're going to select the template that they vibe with the most, the one that represents their style, their theme, their venue, right? So they'll select that template, and then they'll add information that's going to be helpful on our end. And then this is what happens now, ladies and gentlemen. Throughout the time when they were filling out the form on HoneyBook, I was getting updates on my mobile device every single time they visited a page and completed one of those pages. I get updates live. Now, when they actually go and select the template, I'm going to get an email that looks like this. Now, the email is going to have the client's first name, their phone number, and it's also going to have a link to the actual template that they selected. The bottom of this, once I click this right here, Photo Booth Talk, once I click, it's going to take me to the library of the actual template that they selected, which is this one right here. So all I have to do is hit add cart. It adds it to the cart, and then I proceed to checkout, and then I'll just click this button right here, and it'll download that template for me. That template is almost completely finished. I have to change just a few things. The next thing is, once I download this right here, in my download box, I'm going to get this. So I'm going to click on the link, and this is going to open up on Canva. And this is how it's going to look when it opens up on Canva. So all I have to do now is make a couple of changes that might take me anywhere from 1 to maybe 2 minutes. This is what I mean by we need to save time, guys. We need to start building systems so that we can be company owners and not hustlers with a high-paying job. All right. So this one says Merry Christmas, and that's how it comes, right? But if we circle back to that email that the client submitted that we received on our end, we can see that where it says, what would you like your overlay wording to be? Happy holidays. And then they also uploaded their company logo, right? So then I'll go back and I'll add happy holidays to the template, just like you're seeing right now. And then I uploaded their logo, and their logo is right below there. So guess what? The contract, the client agreement, the payment, the retainer, the template, all has been taken care of. And on mine, what have I done so far? Well, if I'm actually the one doing the creative work, then I would just have to change it to Happy Holidays Borns, and that client is almost halfway there, like past halfway there. Now we have to make sure that we actually show up, right? But before that, we're gonna need them to pay the remaining balance. But this just all happened. And so all this is happening, and that part to me became so easy, so systematic, that I thought to myself, okay, now I can really focus on the marketing. So right now, what you guys are seeing is my Google Ads. You guys can see on the top right, it belongs to Canary Capital, right? Canary Capital Rentals. What you guys are seeing here is an actual overview of a campaign from this past October for the full 30 days. You guys can see that as a business owner, I invested in my company. I invested a little over $1,100. Those $1,100 got me 323 clicks. Out of those 323 clicks, I got 31 people to actually submit that lead form. So on average, I pay around $37.61 to have someone actually fill out that form. But if I rephrase that, I can say that Google found me a high quality lead for $37.61. What does that mean? That means that I have 31 people interested in my services. So all I have to do now is contact those people that gave me their information to contact them. So the way you guys make a ton of money is making sure you follow up with those people immediately, whether it takes 1 minute or 5 minutes, because they are ready to make a decision. They just need a little bit of more information. So as you guys can see earlier when I said, hey guys, I know a way where you can invest $1 and get $3 to $4 back. This is it. Google's doing all that for me. So when someone clicks photo booth rental on the Google search engine, your business is going to come all the way in the top. Now we're going to dive just a little deeper here. You guys can see that keywords are our bread and butter. Quickly, photo booth rental with parentheses. This is a phrase. This got me 6 conversions. This means that this keyword that I selected to be part of my campaign, this is the keyword that I selected so that Google can show my ad. It brought in 6 people who submitted a lead form. Photo booth rental, this exact keyword, because it has brackets, brought in 10 conversions. And then so you guys can see what keywords are helping my business grow, helping my business scale, what keywords are bringing in those high quality leads. So you guys can see that photo booth rental got 73 clicks. Cost per click on average, $4.91 for a photo booth rental, and then so on and so forth. So the reason I put this tier together for you guys is so that you guys can see that this isn't bullshit. A lot of you guys are playing defense when it comes to business. So defense is basically you guys are just trying to stay afloat and pay the bills. You guys are just want to be mediocre. But I learned that in life, it's more important for you to live life and be on the offensive side. So forget defense, go on offense. Offense means that you're going to be way more assertive. You're going to step into the unknown and you're going to go and do whatever you can. You're going to try something different because you're tired of getting the same results. Now, I went through a really sad moment in my life, in my business, when I didn't have enough events for my photo booth operators. And then I found out later when I needed them that they had already found another job. They found something that was more consistent. To me, that was a slap in the face. And I thought to myself, there has to be a way that I can make sure that I get events every single time. So I tried SEO, I tried boosting certain ads, and so on and so forth. But when I talked to Thomas Praxidis from Stay Golden Photo Booth, and he was doing 15 to 20 events per week running Google ads, I decided to go on a journey and study this and spend hundreds of dollars, spend a lot of time trying to figure this out. So here I am today presenting this to you guys so that you guys can do the same thing. You guys can go and do it yourselves, or you guys can pay for acceleration, okay? Next thing I want to share with you guys is I have the power to target specific locations. So you can quickly see that San Bernardino, California, I got 6 conversions. Each conversion cost me around $20.09, which is pretty freaking good. And then Riverside. So these are all the cities that I'm targeting. You'll quickly see that some cities I'm not betting my adjustment for the bids is a little bit lower. That's because those cities aren't really reaping the actual results that I want. However, everything is finely tuned now. So now it's at a point where the biggest struggle now in my business, in all reality, is finding good help. We spend a lot of time training people. And that's another topic that I want to discuss with you guys here. Let me go ahead and close this here. Oh, by the way, so once the client submits their form, right, and pays the actual retainer, then I'm going to get notified so that I can come back in here and all I have to do is countersign. Isn't that amazing, guys? So now that the Kevin here, he paid his $245, 50% retainer. The cool part now is that I can just go in here and click countersign, and I'll just type in my name and hit sign, and it's done. The contract is valid, and we are ready to move forward. So let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen so I can make some, so I can take a look at you guys here. So I can continue talking about this because I think it's important. So the important part here, guys, is one, are you going to stay a hustler? Are you just going to have this as a side gig? If the answer is yes, that's understandable. Some of you guys have full-time jobs and you guys want to do this for fun. I get it. But then there's another portion of us who actually want to scale this business, who are actually thinking, I'm not very happy at my current job, right? And so I'm the guy who did this, who started to do this full time, right? And then there's some of you that say, I don't necessarily want to do this full time, but I do want to make more money. How do I make more money? Question is, David, how do you promote your business? How do you set up your prices? So there's always, how do you do this and how do you do that? Well, this video, what I wanted to show you guys is exactly how I get things done and exactly how I get anywhere from 8 to 10 events per month. Challenging part, once again, is having enough manpower to take on those. Now, I'm going to talk about that. When it comes to manpower, I want you guys to go on Indeed and set up a job posting on Indeed and make sure that in your title of Indeed, you guys look for photographers. That way, when you guys interview them, they already know ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. They understand flash. And the rest is very easy. So what that's going to do for you as a business owner is that's going to cut off so much training time, and you're going to save so much more money in training, because believe it or not, a lot of money goes into training, a lot of energy, a lot of time we invest in these people's training. They get paid to train. But it's wonderful when you're sitting here. Right now, I'm sitting here with you guys on a Saturday, and someone's handling my events, and I'm right here preaching to you guys. So that's exactly what I wanted to share with you guys. Now, some of you guys are in the photo booth industry and are probably thinking, okay, I don't need a booth right now, David. By the way, Mr. Professional Photo Booth, an amazing booth. We'll be able to offer this booth to over 200 photo booth business owners. This is one of the most versatile booths. This is a DSLR booth, but at the same time, you can actually make this booth. I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to give you a visual, and then I'm going to show you guys the course. And then I'm going to jump into the actual questions, because I know some of you guys are here and some of you guys are just tired with the same results, right? Some of you guys have a little fear in you, a little bit of doubt, and that's just the part of the human emotion and psyche, and that's okay. But the thing is, like, how long are you going to stay that way? Meaning, are you going to continue living life in defense, or are you going to go on the offense? I'm going to share something here with you guys real quick, because I want you guys to see my entire screen, so you guys can see some of the things here. So this is the online store. If you guys are already good on bookings, but you guys want to actually upgrade your equipment, consider Mr.Professional Photo Booth. It's $27.90, but you get the entire booth, get the USB Type-C, get the umbrella, you get the flight case, and quite honestly, you also going to get an actual extra iPad faceplate. So if you guys want content, just know that you guys can do that now with simply just the iPad faceplate. So this comes with a unique, here you go. I'll show it to you guys. It comes in a nice cutout flight case. It's the kind of booth that's the most versatile booth, because you can use any software, and quite honestly, you're not stuck to one software. Another thing, you guys can use any camera that's going to work with whatever software you want. So that's Mr.Professional Photo Booth. All right. So we go to this photo booth store. You guys will see that the photo booth profit system is something that I put together. Now, what exactly is the photo booth profit system? I'm just going to admit it right now before any of you guys say something. David, we are not paying $4,997 because we are photo booth business owners. And right now, that type of money is a huge investment. I understand that completely. I really do, especially given the fact that coming into the photo booth it's a low cost of entry, right? But here's what you would get, and I can only take on 2 clients a month because this is going to require work on my end. I'm going to be working with you guys one-on-one. So if you guys were interested, I would have a 5 one-on-one weekly coaching calls with you. Now, every single week we're going to meet up and we're going to make sure you guys are on the right trajectory, okay? And I'm not going to give up on you guys until you guys get your first 10 clients, your first 10 actual bookings, not inquiries, not conversions, but actual paid bookings, all right? I'm going to build a custom funnel. The funnels that you guys saw right now, I'm going to build that for you. Now, as far as your Google campaign, it has to be set up properly. Your Google campaign has to be able to track those people that are actually submitting that lead form. Because when Google tracks that, Google can see the behavior and how many clicks and where they visited before they actually submitted that lead form, so that they can find a similar avatar and get you guys a lot more high quality leads. On top of that, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to give you guys photos and videos so you guys can use those to promote your photo booth business on Google. So just wanted to keep it short and sweet because some of you guys, let me stop sharing. Some of you guys just came back from an event and you guys are tired, but I'm out here still doing my thing, and I feel like it's time that I share some of this blueprint with specific individuals. And if you're wondering how come this isn't free on YouTube, I'll tell you exactly why it's not free on YouTube, even though I post a ton of free content on YouTube that I know is going to be helpful. The reason it's not free is because when you're working with Google, Google goes through auctions. So if every single one is doing the same exact thing, we're going to pay a lot more per clicks, and we're going to pay a lot more per keyword. And this is why it wouldn't be wise for me to share all of this information, because once again, guys, it wouldn't help the industry. It'll just make it a lot more difficult. And people with no money would probably not make any business because they won't be paying for ads. But right now, this is like the 360 video. When the 360 video was hot, everyone got a 360 video booth and was making money. It was a good time and it was easy. People would find you and they want to book you because you had a 360 video booth. And then the years passed by and now it's a lot more competitive. Everyone has a 360 video booth. So with that being said, I want to take a few minutes to answer anyone's question here today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to do something a little different here since you guys are watching. I'm going to go ahead and share my phone number so you guys can call in with your questions. I'm going to leave, it's going to be like about 3 minutes per person who calls in. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my number. If you guys are watching right now on Instagram, I'm going to go ahead and share my number so you guys can call in, and then you guys can go ahead and ask me your question that's photo booth business related. I think this is the most efficient way I can add value. So let me go ahead and share my number here with you guys so you guys can call in with your questions live. I'm sure once you guys actually be live here with me. And another thing is people will get value from your questions. So let me go ahead and share my number here with you right now. By the way, if you guys like the presentation, if you guys hit the like button, that'll give me feedback as a content creator. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the love. Thanks. Thanks for the like button here. Thanks for hitting that like button. All right, guys. So here is, I wonder if YouTube is going to allow me to do this. I never done this before. So I'm entering my contact number here on the chat. So if you guys want to call in and ask me your question here live, I'm gonna put you on speaker. Okay, I'm gonna put you guys on blast. So I try to keep it professional. All right, guys, to a degree. You know I like messing around, but here we go. So this is my number right here: 323-740-4933. I want to hear about your pain points. Any pain points that you guys have, any struggles that you guys have. I want to hear it over the phone. It's going to help other people, believe me or not. So yeah, let me go ahead and make sure that my phone is off of do not disturb. That's my phone number right there. All right, we got a caller from Brawley, California. Yo, this is David.
Hi, David. I had to put you on mute on my television or the YouTube, but it's Tanya.
Tanya, what's up?
Yeah, out of San Diego.
All right, what's up, Tanya? What are you struggling with?
I've had a really busy November doing the military balls. I'm very grateful. I've been able to network into that branch, but coming up in December, sad to say I don't have any gigs
Got it.
And it should be the opposite, right? December should be full of it. But then I guess my question was, how does one funnel? And I heard that you were using HoneyBook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so really quick, your November was busy, but your December's still a little quiet. And so this is actually something that I want to expand on real quick, Tanya. This is exactly what happens to a lot of us where it's inconsistent. You know, one week you're really busy and then the rest of the weeks is quiet. And this is exactly why I set up this system, because I want a predictable income. I want those leads to be predictable, Tanya, right? Now, as far as your question about the funnel, expand on that and I'll try to do the best to answer that over the phone.
Well, how does one get started? Because honestly, if you go to my site, I have it's through GoDaddy, and I can put it in the chat what my site is here.
Mm-hmm. So you have a website, Tanya, but you don't have a funnel, just the website, right?
Right, and then people chat with me there, but I don't have like the AI set up or anything to chat back. Mm-hmm. And then by the time I answer it, they're long gone. They've moved on to the next site.
Yeah, I've been there. That's happened to me several times. So then, Tanya, you said you have GoDaddy and you set up and that's your host for your website, right?
Yes.
Okay. When I'm on your website, and I don't want to spend too much time on your website because I want to take other callers in, Tanya, but when I'm on your website and I go to your website, do I get pricing?
On the second page.
On the second page, so you do have pricing. Okay, Tanya, so what's happening is people go to your website and they see your prices and they bounce out. What you want is you want to attract people who are actually going to take the time to submit the contact form because they actually want your services, and and those people that actually fill out the contact form are serious, right? So they have a budget, and now it's about communicating with them and see what you can work out with them so that you both get value. If you have your prices on your second page and I take a look at it, I'll bounce out right away. I try to look for the cheapest because I'm just shopping for price. But if someone wants to speak to someone that's experienced and wants to speak to a professional, wants to speak to an actual representative, they'll take the time to actually fill out that form. So for the time being, Tanya, use your website since it's already up. But I would say put a contact form.
I don't get that form. Like, where do I get that? Is that through my GoDaddy page?
Yeah, so there's different forms. So for example, if you start a HoneyBook account, right? HoneyBook will provide you with lead forms and contact forms. What you then would do is you select one of those forms and then you'll copy and paste that embedded code onto your website. And then the page pops up on your website. And then that information is going to get relayed to you on your mobile phone, and it's also going to populate in HoneyBook.
Great.
What I'll be doing, Tanya, is I'm going to be doing a webinar pretty soon. I'm going to be diving into HoneyBook more. That way you get visuals, because right now explaining to you verbally gives you an idea, but I know it's not super clear.
No, it does give me a better visual.
Cool.
I appreciate you.
Once again, where are you calling from, Tanya?
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay, cool.
San Diego.
San Diego. Well, thanks for calling in. I hope December starts filling up for you.
Okay, thank you.
All
Bye.
right, have a good night. Bye. Cool. Anyone else want to call in and have any questions? That was a really good question. So it happens, usually we get fixated. Here, let me go ahead and put my number right here as well. If you guys want to call in with your question, what Tanya's facing right now is very common, because I went through that exact thing she's going through, where I would see that, Google would say, hey, a lot of people visited your website. And I was like, okay, that's great, but where are the inquiries at, right? And I wasn't able to track that. So that's my number for the people here on Instagram if they want to call. So my number is on the actual chat if you guys want to call in, and I'll review I'll go over the problem you're having and try to help you as best as I can. So what Tanya was sharing was, like I said, the thing that we go through is we have a website and we want to spend a good amount of money and time trying to make it beautiful, right? And I learned the hard way, because I had multiple websites, that what we need is a funnel. A website we should just have a landing page, and within that landing page, we can actually capture information. Now, I'm going to tell you guys the beauty of actually having a funnel versus a website. So just like Tanya, a lot of us have that same issue where we get the people to visit our website and then they ghost us. They're gone, right? What's beautiful is when you have a landing page with a contact form and they fill out that contact form. For me, the results that I showed you guys earlier, where I had 31 conversions, out of those 31 conversions, I know that I can close a minimum of 25% of those, minimum 25% of those. And so what that means is I'm gonna have plenty of events throughout the month, right? But if I don't have their email, if I don't have their actual phone number, then I lost them. Like they don't exist. I don't exist to them. So what's happening, guys, is for the people that are filling out the contact form, let's say 50% of them book with me, and let's say the other 50% don't book with me. Here's the part that I feel has a lot of residual is the 50% people that booked with me, I can always retarget them throughout the quarter, throughout the year. The people that didn't book with me, I can still send them offers because I have their contact information. So this is what I mean by it adds a lot of value to your business because it's building up your pipeline. And now it's all about retargeting and rekindling that flame and interest. Send them weekly offers, maybe monthly offers, quarterly offers, seasonal offers. And this is how you guys all of a sudden start making more money because you build leads on top of leads. Now, for the people that actually book with me, what happens is I also have a system in Honeybook that has a template where I shoot the template to them with their master gallery. And then it does an automation where it sends them another email thanking them saying, hey, here's $50. You can either keep it for yourself or you can share it with someone who has an event right around the corner. So then they can gift those $50 to someone else, right? And so like guys, it's building upon building, and it gets to a point now, like I said, I do this full time and it just works. It works because it's systematic. So, any other questions you guys come up with here? My phone's gonna be blowing up at 3 in the morning. I just thought of that right now. I'll go ahead and list my phone number here. You guys want to call the phone number and ask me any questions.
Pisces.
Let's see here. It looks like questions stop coming in, guys. I'm just gonna hang out for about 2 more minutes. Oh, I got a question from Tanya. How do you deal with scammers? I get scammers. Yeah, I still get scammers. You know, it's a scammer when they want to book you for you know, it's a scammer when they want to book you for 8 hours, and then they tell you, but the payment has to be a certain way. And as soon as I hear that, right away, I know it's a scammer. Tanya, that's something that I can't cancel out, just because they use different numbers all the time. But it's easy to check, like stop replying to scammers. I think is the best thing you can do. Who would you recommend we host our website with? All things Los Angeles. That's a good question because I done Bluehost, I done GoDaddy, and I done Wix. So it's not so much about the host, because the host is going to do what it's supposed to do. Now, the host only affects you when you have thousands and thousands of visitors in a short span of time. You want to make sure that your host can take on that many visitors. And usually hosts have plans where it tells you, okay, do you expect this much visits? So for us, we're photo booth businesses, right? We don't have thousands of visits every single day. So the host, all things Los Angeles, is not a big deal. What's a big deal is your landing page and the funnel. That's a big deal because any host can take on a couple of hundred without crashing. And any host is going to provide us with that. That's where technology is at. It's not a big deal. But where you want to spend time and you want to spend money, where you want to invest your actual time is in building a landing page and then a funnel. That's exactly what you guys need. Remember, funnels are important because what do? They keep that information for us to use later, the client's first name, their phone number, and their email. And we can continue to reach out to them, like I said, seasonal, monthly basis, or every quarter. So that's my answer to you, all things Los Angeles, is don't get fixated too much on what host to go with. Just make sure that your landing page, but most importantly, your actual funnel is on point. But more important than those two aspects, make sure that your Google ads are actually tracking conversions. Because if your Google ads, I have a lot of people say, hey, David, I'm running Google ads. And I tell them, how much money are you spending a day? They're like, well, I spend like $6. That's like, and I thought to myself, well, that's That's going to help to a degree because it's going to give you some visibility when people are looking for a photo booth, but you're going to be outbid quickly when it comes to these auctions and these keywords. And so he says, I get clicks, but I get no conversions. And then I told him, well, how are you tracking conversions? They're like, well, when someone clicks on a button, that counts as a conversion. I said, no, don't track for people clicking on a button. You want Google to count the actual form that's been submitted as a conversion. Because when you get someone to fill out your form, what Google sees as a conversion, Google wants to get you more of those so you can spend money with Google. That's how Google eats. It provides you with information and value, and you give it money so it can give you more data and get you more clients, right? So if you guys are feeding Google information, make sure you guys give it good information. This is exactly how you guys are going to get the conversions, and you got to get high quality leads. Okay, guys. So that's my answer, and that's a cherry on top for you. Do you have to break down of exactly what comes with the one-on-one package? Yeah, if you go to the website here, I'll plug in the website. You can see what comes with the one-on-one package here. And on top of that, what I'm also going to add is here, I'll send this your way. And on top of that, what I'm going to add, guys, is I'm going to, for everyone that it actually decides to sign up for the one-on-one, the photo booth bookings blueprint, in which I'm going to be spending, every week I'm going to be meeting with you for 1 hour just to make sure you stay on the right trajectory. And I'm going to be taking a look at your Google actually. So here's another thing about Google, guys. And once again, I put my number in here. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and call the line. You guys will be live right here with me. So everyone's going to hear your question. So gives you a chance to shout out your business as well too. Oh, by the way, here we go. Anyone? So back to what I was saying about what did I leave off? I lost my train of thought because that's what usually happens to me. Like I'm all over the place. Google, got it. So one thing that's really interesting about running Google ads is setting up Google tracking conversion. A lot of you guys, some of you guys even spent $300 a month and really didn't get anything back. You guys lost hope. I was there. That was me. That's exactly who I was when I ran my very first ad on Google. And I thought, I'm going to get a lot more visibility, so I'm going to get a lot more leads. And boy, was I wrong, right? But when I learned that, hey, I was missing an important step, and that's giving Google the information to get me high quality leads and not just clicks. Now, when you guys run a campaign, you guys have the option to opt in for as many clicks. You guys have the options to opt in for as many text messages, phone calls, conversions, forms being filled out, purchases, add to cart. There's so many different types of conversions. But for us, photo booth business owners, the most important, most meaningful conversion is when someone submits a lead form, because then Google can use that exact avatar's trail, their history, to look for similar prospects so that we can get those high quality leads. And this is exactly how you guys get high quality leads, is giving Google the right information, okay? Yeah. Honeybook can work with Wix. So, okay, Honeybook works with Wix to a degree. Okay, let's say, for example, you already have Wix. Say, example, you have Wix, right? And here, I'm going to show you guys something. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you guys a visual because that's a question that I can actually show you a visual. And I'm going to show you how that looks like. Let me share my screen and open up a certain page. And I'll show you, I'll answer that question, but I'm going to share my screen so you guys can dive into the world of lead forms. Okay. All right, here we go. Perfect. All right, let me share my screen here with you guys. That was a good question. Keep those questions coming. Let me see. All right, here's Honeybook. Here's a lead form. Now, these are all my lead forms right here. You see this lead form right here, normally $222. This is a lead form that's inside of my Wix website. So when you guys visit my website and you guys go to Mr. Professional Photo Booth right here, you guys will see Mr. Professional in action. But what I did is I added a lead form inside of my Wix website in which you guys can put in your full name and email and get this $222 masterclass for absolutely free. So if you guys go to my store, if you guys go to the photo booth store, you guys will see that I have a master class right here that's worth $222. This shows you how to get the best 360 videos, gives you the settings, and also helps you with your photography, shows you the settings for cameras, right? But I'm giving this for free in exchange for your email and your name. So that's how you would embed it. This is what I was telling Tanya earlier. You take the code and then you embed it in your actual page, and then this is how it shows up. And then once you hit select and submit, boom, I get notified. I have your email, I have your name, and you get the goods. This is exactly what I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, and yes, you can fuse it in with Wix. That's how you can have them work together for you. And this is what I was telling Tanya earlier. Like, you can keep your website, but maybe consider removing your pricing instead add a contact form. And then check that out. And don't check it out for 2 or 3 days. You guys have to run this for at least 15 to 30 days, because it takes, especially if your website doesn't get a lot of traffic, then it's going to take longer for you to get data. And we make decisions off of the data, not off assumptions, not off of emotion, but actual data. And this is exactly why I pay Google money every single day and every single month, because I'm paying Google a certain amount of money to give me valuable data. And it's worked out great for my business. I'm doing this full time. That's a good question. Yeah, you will lose a lot of money on the Knot and Wedding Wire. What I compete with them on Google. So on Google, they do auctions for keywords. And so if you have a good landing page and the keywords are consistent and your click-through rate is pretty high, then Google rewards that. And what does it do? It drops your cost per click, and it also gives you higher conversion, and it pushes you to get more impressions. By the way, for the people that watch the whole entire presentation, I want you guys to give me some information. And I want this information coming directly from you guys that are owners, right? Some of you guys can't afford, $4,197 to have 5 one-on-ones with me and have me build your funnels and have me build the Google campaigns with you, right? You guys can't afford that. But can you guys afford to lose out on that money every single month? I know this sounds like a sales pitch, but let's just think about it, right? Because what we don't know costs us the most money. That's what I learned in life, is that with the information that we don't know, it's what costs us the most money. So if you guys paid thousands of dollars for a photo booth, thousands of dollars for a website, would you say that you guys would pay close to $4,000 to have all that for you? And basically, I'm not giving you a fish. I'm teaching you guys how to fish. So for the rest of your business career, you guys will always get bookings. Am I asking for too much? And here's another thing, guys. Know this, and I'm gonna give you this if you guys sign up for the class, right? If you guys sign up for the class, I had to pay a lot of money to Google. Reason why is I'm gonna share this with you. There's something called negative keywords. And so then Google, what it does, it shows your ads to the whole world within the cities that you selected with certain keywords, but then it also has other keywords that, for example, like if someone types in cheap photo booth, my ad can probably show at the very top for that person that wrote cheap photo booth or cheap photo booth prices. So when Google shares that and the person clicks on my ad, I pay for that click. I just paid for a click that a cheap person, like, so what I'm trying to say is sometimes Google will show your ads to the wrong people for the wrong keywords. So now I have a big list of negative keywords that I don't want my ads to show for, which means I'm going to share that negative keyword list with you guys so that you guys don't spend thousands of dollars on negative keywords like I did. What does that mean? That means that you guys are actually going to accelerate much faster than I did, because I was collecting data over time and adding negative keywords. Now, those negative keywords that cost me money every single day, I'm going to give you those negative keywords so that you guys, your campaigns are a lot more successful than mine are. This is something no one's ever done here in the photo booth industry. This is something that I said I would love to one day go to the photo booth expo and be on stage and give out a massive speech that brings massive value that anyone can do. So this is basically me going through the process of building myself till I get to that point. All right, let's see here. Thank you for that info. I was wondering how to incorporate HoneyBook into my Wix website. Yeah, you guys can do it. That question came from earlier. That question came from Carolyn Studio. That question came from Carolyn Studio from Jose from Las Vegas. So that was a good question. Let's see now. It's all a scam. They don't give you leads. Yeah, when it comes to the wedding wire and the knot, they're just taking your money. This is another thing, guys. I want you guys to know something important too. Is that keep in mind, I have a reputation on YouTube. I have over 1,100 videos uploaded. So it has to work. What I'm pitching you guys, what I'm offering you guys, it has to work because it ties back into my credibility. But this is exactly something that I also want to put out here is that you guys need to do the work. Sometimes you guys just want like a miracle to happen and you guys to be busy. It doesn't happen that way. There's too many people in the industry now. So we have to compete, but we have to compete in a strategic way. We have to invest in our business. And guess what, guys? Here's the flip. Here's the flip. The flip side of this is that even though I'm paying Google and Google's giving me a return on my investment, all that money that I'm spending on marketing on Google is a complete tax write-off. So why would I not do it? Right? Cool. So let me continue here. That was a good question. Any other questions? Let me see. Can I use data collected from the past parties to promote to those guests and how? Can I use data collected from past parties to promote to those guests and how? I'm gonna see if I'm okay. I'm gonna try to answer your question, assuming I'm understanding what you're saying. Okay. So there'll be times, guys, when you guys run photo booth events and you guys actually collect numbers and emails. Either you're doing it for your business or you're doing it for your client who's launching a brand or launching a business and they wanted to collect phone numbers and emails. Whichever category that is, truth is you have emails and you have phone numbers. What I would do is, yes, I would set up a campaign and and then send out like a message blast, right? An email blast. But make sure that when you send that email blast, the offer is a professional offer and it doesn't look like it was just put together in 2 minutes. You can target those people. But there's another way you can strategize to make this a lot more effective and feed the algorithm this information. And I'll give you guys an important so some of you guys right here will be like, oh, that makes sense now. I get it why David did it. So you're probably wondering earlier, David, how come you gave a thing that cost $222 away for free just for an email and a phone number? I'll tell you why. Because I can use that email and I can give it to Google. And so now Google has a huge list of emails from people that done business with me in the past. And it uses that information and similar avatars to get me more information, to get me more similar avatars for that specific product. I'll give you guys an example. For the many photo booth business owners who bought a Mr.Professional, I have the email. So those clients fall under people who bought something from the online store. So when I do a campaign on actual Google, that campaign, I can add this specific list of clients, right? But then I can start another campaign on Google for the rental part of the business for everyone who's rented and booked our services. And I can run another campaign with that email list and it'll find similar avatars that have, similar behaviors. So it's amazing what you guys can do with Google. I mean, it can literally make you a millionaire if you guys put in the work and you guys stay focused. Okay. So just wanted to share that information with you. And that was a good question, by the way. You could definitely use the data to your advantage because data is so valuable if it's applied the right way. Think about it. How much people pay for emails? That's data, right? All right. Thank you for that info. I was wondering how to incorporate HoneyBook into my Wix website. Yeah, no problem. It's brilliant, but it's brilliant, but how soon can you apply it in your business? I want you guys to walk away from this trying some of the things that I shared with you today here. Okay. I want you guys to implement these things. And I want you guys to be fair enough to actually give it some time. Okay. It won't work in 48 hours. It could work in 48 hours once you get the ball rolling and you've been doing it for 30 days. Yes, you can reap results in 48 hours after the 30 days. But remember, guys, it takes a little bit of time, but it's well worth it. By the way, you're see Jose, you're welcome. You're welcome, Fun Photo Booth. You're welcome. So, okay. I feel like there's something important that I'm missing that I need to share with you guys. And it's about investing. It's about investing in your business. So I talk to people. So I have what's called a success call. So for people that are interested in the DSLR booth from Mr. Professional, I'll have a 15-minute call with them to see what their questions are and to see if it's a good fit for them. There's situations where people that I've talked to, they have a 360 video booth, they have an iPad booth, and now they want to get a DSLR booth. And I sometimes lose sales because of this, but I'm okay with that. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to share here why. I ask them usually like, well, tell me about your booths. How often are they out on the weekends? And if they start telling me, well, it's been a while, or I get every now and then a booking for 3, when they say that, I feel bad selling them, right? Offering them, giving them another booth if they haven't mastered consistency. So there are people that I talk to every day on the phone, and I tell them, I don't think you should buy Mr. Professional yet. It's weird. I know. You're probably thinking, David, what are you talking? I don't think you should buy Mr. Professional DSLR photo booth yet, because if you have an iPad booth and a 360 video booth and you haven't figured out the booking part, you haven't figured out the marketing, then if you get another booth, it's not going to change anything. You're just going to have more booths. And so that's exactly what I'll tell them, exactly what I told you guys. And it is what it is. Like, why would I just say, no, buy Mr. Professional, because Mr. Professional will get you more bookings. That's not true. It's not true. It's a beautiful booth, aesthetically pleasing, very functional, but it's not going to go out there and get bookings for you unless it's already at an event and it's part of the presentation and people find it. That's exactly when it sells itself, when it's already at an event, because people see it, they love it, and they think the photos come out amazing because now you're using a flash and an actual DSLR or mirrorless camera. And that's when it really shines. That's when you can get a return on your investment as far as hardware goes. Cool. All right. So a next question that I have right here is, so on average, what is a fair budget paying for Google Ads to achieve 8 to 10 clients per month? That is one of the best questions I've had from the night, and I'm going to go ahead and expand on that because I think it's a really good question. Now, guys, earlier when I mentioned that you give Google money and they give you data in exchange, think about it this way. If I give Google $25 a day, right? Say I'm running a campaign and my daily budget is $25. And I have another guy named Larry. I have Larry and we have David. I'm David, and then there's Larry. David is spending $25 per day on his campaign on Google. Larry is spending $5 a day on Google. So we have different budgets on a daily basis. Google is going to give me a lot more information every single day. I'm going to get way more information faster because I'm spending more money. So Google's sending me more impressions, more clicks, and I'm getting more information off what time they clicked, what time did I get that conversion, on what day, what hour. I'm getting more volume. What that volume means is I'm getting more data, and I can use that data to start refining my campaign. Larry is spending $5. Larry is going to get fewer clicks, fewer impressions. He's going to show up fewer times on the Google search engine. So I'm getting to your question, but I'm giving you guys a foundation. So the more money you give Google in the beginning, the faster you're going to get data. Now, there's two sides to this. If you guys signed up for the course that I'm offering, of course, you guys wouldn't have to go through that learning curve, because I'm going to be giving you guys the negative keywords, and I'm going to be giving you guys the actual keywords that bring in the most conversions. So you guys don't have to spend all that crazy money like I did in the beginning when I became super ambitious and in a way kind of desperate. Like I gotta get my people out there and do events, right? So then, will Larry eventually, he would have enough data, spending $5 a day? That's like what is that? $300 a month. By the end of the month, Larry's gonna have some information now. He's gonna have some data. He's gonna have some clicks. But David, who was spending $25 a day, is going to have a ton of data. So this is important. All right. So I'm going to move into the second phase. That was the spending money, right? But now we're thinking, okay, well, what about, how do I know how many clients let me tell you. When I showed you my slide earlier, I was averaging anywhere from $32 to $35 per conversion. Okay. That conversion cost gets lower as the time goes by because your campaign starts getting smarter and the algorithm consistently learns. So you start getting leads for a cheaper price, especially during slower season when no people are on Google Ads trying to compete for keywords. You get even a bigger piece of the pie at a cheaper cost. So as far as the budget goes, there's a lot of factors. All right. One is when people go and land on your landing page, how many of those people actually fill out the contact form, right? Because if there's not a lot of competition in your area, then you're gonna reap better benefits. You're gonna get a bigger piece of the pie. But here's the things that I can share with you that are gonna simplify this whole conversation. Let's say, for example, a good place to start, right? If you guys want to just take it at a slow pace, a steady pace wins the race. Let's say I showed you guys. So I showed you guys earlier. On average, I make $670 per event. All right. So what I can do is I can spend $670 a month. So 670 divided by 30, and that gives me my daily average. That means that no matter what, I'm going to have enough events to make my money back. So you can start off there. If you want to be more aggressive, more assertive, this is exactly what I mean by the more you invest, the more you get back, right? So that's how I would approach it is how much do you make per event? Take that money that you would make, put it into Google and make that your monthly budget because no matter what, you're going to get an event no matter what from Google. But remember guys, the most important is setting up your conversions properly. So that's what I would do. That's the best way that I can put it is you can't get guaranteed something if we don't know your market and we don't know how long you ran the ads for. So, but once again, that's where I would start as far as the investment goes. And that's playing it super safe. Oh, by the way, to piggyback off of that was a good question. So I said for a beginner, invest $670 a month and you'll get events back. I'm spending twice that amount. And now it's finally tuned where I get 30 lead forms filled out. And out of those 30, I can close anywhere from 25 to 50%, closer to the 50% because by now I'm pretty good at closing. So even if you close 25%, you're still getting a ton of money back from your investment. All right, Renee. Hey, what's up, TikTok? So I am here live with 18 photo booth business owners. If you guys want to come through on the live, we're answering questions and we're putting people up on game. So Veronica Gomez and Eric and Casey, you guys have some funky names, yo. Yours truly, photo booth. If you guys want to come over to the YouTube, so the link is in the bio. I'll see you guys right over here. So people are posting some really good questions. Carolyn Studio writes, "That is good information, bro." Yeah, this information that I'm sharing with you is stuff that people won't share, and I'm giving you guys the fundamentals. Okay, the application part, the infrastructure, it takes work on the back end, but as long as you guys are catching the idea, you'll know that if you're not doing this, you quickly realize like, how come I didn't think of that? Or you'll think like, man, how come I didn't invest sooner? So this is exactly what I mean by like, I'm here today to open up your eyes, just like Thomas Praxedis opened up my mind when I interviewed him and he told me he was doing 15 to 20 events per week. That right there changed the way that I saw the whole entire industry. This man was doing way more events than people at the photo booth expo who were on stage, preaching. So it's interesting how some people work differently. Some people kind of like just kind of move in the shadows. How would you suggest getting reviews from clients? Well, Renee, right now I have over 400 five-star Google reviews on Google, and I average around 3 reviews per event. So just make sure you ask everyone at the event for a review. And that's how you'll start getting way more reviews than everyone in your industry. So yeah, just do that and make it easy for people. So when you're at an event, what's up, Jazz? Whenever you're at an event, here I'm going to show you guys a little hack. Maybe you guys knew this, maybe you guys didn't. Regardless, I'm going to show you guys because remember, guys, just like what I'm showing you right now, you want to make it easy for yourself to be successful. So you need to have systems and you need to invest in your business. It's just not buying software and hardware. It's about implementing in ads, and those ads can get that. Why do you think companies spend money on ads? Because, guys, it brings in back a return on your investment. So I'm on the wrong here. There is, so maybe I text messaged it to her. I think I text messaged it to me. Let's see. Did I? I think so. I did. Okay. So all of my photo booth directors have this. So all of my photo booth directors, when they're at an event, they have this on their phone. So right away they tell the client, "Hey, we're competing with another photo booth team. Can you please help us with the 5-star review, because whoever wins is going to get a bonus." That's exactly, I just gave you guys a sauce. That's exactly how you word it, and that's exactly how you frame it. So then they hold, the client already has their phone. They're getting their photo airdropped onto the phone. They already have their phone on hand. It's unlocked. So how easy is it for them to scan this with their camera and help out your photo booth attendant by giving them a 5-star review? I just put you guys up on game. This is exactly how I got over 400 and what am I at now? 416 reviews. So I hope this helps. Oh man, my mom just joined. Ouija. All right, guys. So where are we at? Yeah. So that's exactly how I would go about it. I know. But remember, guys, apply what I'm telling you. Okay. We got Carolyn Studio, who is at 415 reviews. That is massive. Let's see. Would you suggest getting reviews from clients? I will implement this tips right away. I'm driving back home. I'm heading to my website to make the changes. Yep, got to capture that data. Capture that data, man. Um, that data is so valuable, guys, because everyone knows someone who's having a party next week. Everyone knows someone who got engaged, and everyone's, it just, come on, guys, collect the data. It's just extremely valuable. Don't miss out on that. I listened to a live about being a well-oiled machine in business. Would you say you're now in the CEO position versus the operator? When I asked if finding a team is helpful, she said sort of. So right now I'm more okay. So I'm playing more of a management role. I'm not the visionary of the business yet, full time. So in business, the question came from the shoots. She wrote, I listened to a live about a well-oiled machine in business. Would you say you're in the CEO position versus the operator? All right, I'll share my answer with you guys. And so the philosophy is this: when you guys start a photo booth business, there are 3 primary positions to be filled out. The first position is the operator, the second position is the manager, and the third position is the visionary, the entrepreneur. So they all conflict with one another. They don't even like one another, and I'm going to tell you why. Why? Because the operator is always being told by the manager what to do when the operator just wants to operate and be left alone. Okay? And then the manager's frustrated because the operator sometimes doesn't deliver what they're supposed to deliver. So then the manager says, "Man, what do I do?" And then all of a sudden, the visionary, right, the co-founder, tells the manager, "Hey, step your game up." So you're wearing all 3 hats in the beginning of your business. Whatever business it is, it's pretty much the same pillars, the same fundamentals. So I spent my first year as all 3, and I was spending a lot of time in the operator quadrant, and a lot of my time the manager, managing clients, managing inventory, and then the operator operating the equipment. And then every now and then, when I would, during the weekday, when I wasn't busy doing templates and I wasn't busy dealing with clients, then I would finally step into the actual the responsibility of the visionary, the co-founder, the one that has the vision of the business, wants to convert it into a company. So to answer your question, right now, given this at the making of this video, I have stepped more into the actual manager. From just I'm just managing. It's still a good amount of work, but it's a lot more feasible for me, and it's a lot more rewarding for me, because I right now, for example, tonight I just acted as a dispatch manager while my photo booth directors were out and about doing their events, handling the company's events. So yeah, right now I feel like I'm in the position. Yeah, I'm not to a point where I can say I've hired a full-time manager and now I'm just like the co-founder slash investor. I'm not there yet. But that was a good question. In fact, it feels good, because people rarely ask me that question. So it's good to say it out loud. I'm not there yet. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not there yet. I'm just a manager right now, but no longer the operator. Okay, that your business needs to also have a plan in place. I would love to hear more about the structure. So there's no business if there's no structure, and there's no business if there's no. This is important for you guys who are going to start hiring. There needs to be standards. Each candidate that you hire, there needs to be standards. If there's no standards and there's no structure, there's no business. It's just going to fail. So there has to be structure. There has to be systems in place. Basically, what you want is when you bring someone on board, you want to have the onboarding process. You want to have, you just, structure is important because you don't have to repeat yourself. You just have the systems already. You have the structure. It's laid down the foundation. So it's easier to build on top of that. Um, you're welcome, Rachel. Yep. Time is it? Oh my goodness, time flew as usual. Great. I don't think any questions. Any questions? If anyone's still around, if you guys can hit the like button, if you guys enjoyed this meeting here today, that would be really cool. The like button is always like it's like a big deal for us content creators who present. And yeah, I didn't, like I said, I didn't make any money today sitting here with you guys, talking to you guys. But I think I sparked some people's minds. I think what I shared here with you today, because I shared real information with you guys. I shared an entire presentation with you guys. I showed you my business funnel. I showed you my actual Google ads. I showed you the analytics behind it. And we covered a lot of questions. For me, it does two things. It polishes me to become a better presenter, and it also helps me. It stimulates me to regurgitate and say the things that I learned out loud to make sure that I actually really have learned what I am preaching. So this helps me as well. But for me, it's about who's going to go out there and surpass me, who's going to go out there and start applying what we covered here today. So I didn't make a single dollar, and that's okay. Because like I said, this conversation for me was like, hey, let me talk to people that have similar goals and are in the same industry and see what comes out of it. And I felt like some of the questions you guys brought today to the surface were incredible. David, eres lo máximo, bro. Thanks, Carolyn Studio. Hoy fui mi primer día using Mr.Professional is the most outstanding booth, and you know I have several booths. That's a good compliment, man. Thank you very much. All right, guys, if you guys want to wrap it up, I guess this is it because I don't see no more questions coming in. But if you do have questions, go ahead and post them as fast as you guys can, as fast as your fingers can move, because I'm ready to call it a night, guys. You know, I've been working all day, and that's great, but I like to just disconnect. All right, let's see what we got. We got Renee. So grateful for you. Thank you for sharing your time and knowledge. You're welcome, Renee. Bubbles Bub 4561. When is the HoneyBook class? The HoneyBook class. Stay tuned in because remember, guys, I have a webinar coming up. It's going to be a live webinar on Zoom. So you guys will get an invite link. I'm going to be diving deeper into the world of HoneyBook. And also, I'm going to have an offer for you guys as well. That offer is basically going to cover I'm basically accelerated course on how to get the results that I'm already getting without going through all the speed bumps, going through all the heartbreak and the loss of money. So basically what I'm going to be teaching you guys is I'm going to be offering a course, something that I feel like is worth it's worth every penny. We throw the word value around a lot, right? We throw the word value around a lot. And here's what value means to me. Here's what it comes down to. All right. All 16 of you guys listening to me right now, this is what value means to me. This is the way that I define it. And I'll share a story if you guys never heard this story before. So there's a rich man who goes to Alaska, and this man is very, very, very wealthy, and he owns a museum that has great paintings. These paintings are worth upwards to $500,000 and up. So he catches himself in Alaska, and he doesn't know how to hunt. He's starving. So he finds an Eskimo, and he sees an Eskimo with fish. And so he offers the Eskimo a painting, and that painting was worth like $50,000. but the Eskimo doesn't accept the painting because the painting brings no value to the Eskimo. But instead, if the guy would have given the Eskimo his $300 pistol, then the Eskimo would have got a lot more value off of that $300 pistol in comparison to that $50,000 painting. So in life, as we move forward, it's all about exchange. And because the world is shifting, the consciousness is shifting, it's not going to be about the money pretty soon anymore. In fact, it's going to be about the attention that we exchange and the interaction. It's going to come down to things that we can do for one another, not based on monetary, but things that we need as beings. And so when it comes to my channel, when it comes to the things that I sell online, I always think of the value. Like, what am I really, what are they getting? Because when you offer something of value, it has to be worth more than the money that they're giving you. And so that's, for me, that's how I build my photo booth services, based off of value. And when I get on the phone with the customer, it's easy for me to close them because it's easy for me to communicate something that a lot of people don't communicate, and that's value. It's not about each little feature, each little detail. It's about understanding what they value so that you can amplify that with your offer. Just like I had someone call in and said, "Hey, David, I'm interested in Mr. Professional, but I'm also looking at the guac booth, but one's more expensive than the other, but I like yours, but theirs is nice. Can you sell me on your booth?" And I told them, "Well, since you're comparing the booth, what did you like about Mr. Professional?" And they told me everything they loved about Mr. Professional. And I didn't say anything after that. I didn't try to sell it to them because they basically told me everything they loved about it. So they basically answered their own question. So I didn't have to be pushy, and I didn't have to say, order it now. I just said, like, well, there you have it. So for me, it's about putting out a lot of information so that you guys can use that information to create value in your lives one way or another. So that's the definition of value for me. You're welcome, Tanya. Miss Kahlo, one, I was in your previous live about 3 weeks ago, and you gave a bonus for free masterclass. I never received the email. Go ahead and try it again. There shouldn't be any issues. In fact, I just clicked on it earlier. I was showing folks how to use it. Go ahead and try it right now. Here, I'll share the link with you. Okay, hold on, give me a sec. And then when you do that, Miss Kahlo, when you do that, when you send it, please tell me what first name, last name you used, because as soon as someone fills out that form, I get notification on my phone, so I'll be able to see it on my phone. So yeah, if you go to there and then you sign up for the class, well, not even sign up, you get it for free just by putting your first name and email. All right, let's see. I asked about one-on-one class. So the one-on-one classes, guys, I stopped doing those classes, the one-on-ones. I discontinued those just because I'm taking on 15-minute calls for people that are interested in Mr. Professional, and that takes up a lot of my time. And then on top of that, I'm still putting together this masterclass course, and just like the one-on-one consultations that I used to do back in the day are just, for me right now where I'm at in life, they're not feasible for me because they don't take me closer to where I'm trying to get to. And in life, with its business opportunities, relationships, or friendships, make sure that you guys are investing in the right timelines and the right people so that you guys can get to your ultimate purpose much faster. That means that sometimes you have to say no to people, no to business opportunities. And trust me, people, when you have a YouTube channel, software companies are going to want to collaborate with you. Photo booth manufacturers are going to want to collaborate with you. Template designers are going to want to collaborate with you. But most of the time, I have to say no because I still want some time for myself as an individual. Um, I don't even know how that what sparked up that conversation. To be honest with you. Oh yeah, because of the one-on-one class. Yeah, so I won't be doing the one-on-one class, but for the people that sign up for the master class, they're gonna have access to the same people who invested. That way, we can get like power players in one tight community, and we can share our actual wins, and also share like our actual like statistics. And so that's why I'm like, it's only a chosen few. Okay, let me see here. I ask about you. You're the best, brother. Thank you, Thunder 360 Photo Booth. 428 Google reviews, 5-star, 428 Google reviews. That's a ton. Many blessings to you. Thank you, Sylvia. Oh, I always get these, no matter what, I always get this question. The question is, what's your opinion on mirror booth? The mirror booth, and I'll say the same thing I always say, the mirror booths are gorgeous, especially in indoor events, because all the LED lights and the mirror reflection they have going on. But they're heavier, they're bulkier, and they don't do well in outdoor events when when the sun is out. And from what I understand, most, I want to say close to 90% of mirror booths work off of the Surface Pro. Most of them don't work off iOS system unless you connect a mini Apple computer to those. So I don't have too much to say about the mirror booth because I bought one a while back and it sat in my garage for a long time because I didn't know that it only ran on Windows. And so yeah, that I don't have too much to share with you as far as the mirror booth. But if you're looking for a booth, Mr. Professional DSLR photo booth is probably going to be the world's most versatile photo booth, guys. I know it sounds like I'm being biased, but trust me, I put my heart, I put my all into that booth. And we're on the second generation. So the second generation is super cool. What is the name of the template service? The name of the template service is called Photo Booth Talk. That's Photo Booth. So I have Rachel who just submitted the form right now. Do we have a Rachel in the chat right now? I just got notified that people are filling out that form I shared with you guys earlier. So that means it's being triggered properly like it should. The shoot's 1287. Hi. I enter my details. I just says select. I haven't received. It just says select. So you have to hit the little arrow until it says thank you. Rachel was able to do it. Rachel, can you check your inbox, both your inbox and your spam box, to see if you received that email, please? That way we can figure out what's happening on Miss Kala one's side. Oh, received the email. Okay, Miss Kala, there's something wrong you're doing on your end. Be patient and figure it out. Yeah, patience is everything when you're troubleshooting. Speaking of troubleshooting, guys, I just made a video. And that video shows you guys the shoot. Sorry, there's no link. You see? Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. So you're getting an email, but you're not getting a link with the email. You're not getting access to it. Here, let me do this then. Let me see what's going on. Hang tight for me, guys. I'm going to give you guys here. Let me do this since I don't want to keep you guys waiting. I'm going to give everyone here access to the $222 masterclass right now. I'm going to give you the private link. All right, guys. Here, let me give that. This will solve a lot of problems, and I'll see why it's sending an email, but there's no link in the email, right, Rachel? Let's see. Masterclass. Hold on, guys. I have hundreds of videos, so I'm trying to find the private masterclass one here. The classes, I found it. Here, let me get this to you guys here. Here, guys, save this. This is a private video. I just emailed it to you. Okay, let me check that email. Here, while I check that email, guys, this will give you access to that master class right there if you guys want to save that and bookmark it. Oh, Rachel, give it a couple more minutes. So that's the first email you're gonna get, and then a few minutes later you should get the actual link. But yeah, for now, guys, there's that link I just shared with you guys. I don't have your guys' emails, but that's okay. You guys made it this far, which is pretty cool to me. Have a good night. Cool. All right, guys. It was a very, 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 very long presentation here. We're at 1 minute. 1 minute. We're at 1 hour 26 minutes, and as usual, time flew by. But what I'm saying is it right away opened a tab with the link and started playing the tutorial. I think the one you came across, Rachel, is the one for Mr. Professional. So there's like a professional video, but you have to move forward. So that one, basically, that first video you see is just a demonstration of Mr. Professional. It's not the actual master class. Cool, guys. I think it's time for us to call it a night. My computer's not connected to the power because it's connected to the camera right here. So I'm running on just laptop battery. But yeah, this is going to be replaying. We're going to leave it replaying. Carla wrote, thank you. You are great. So appreciative of everything. I'm exhausted. All right. Good night, Carla. Yeah, that's the one. Miss Carlo, that's the one. So the first few minutes, Miss Carlo, is going to be for your 360 video booth, and then the next 30 minutes after that is for the camera, for the Canon R100. So it's not broken. It's a working link. Good. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's awesome, man. Very cool. All right, guys. Thank you again. You guys have a wonderful night. Peace.